Hey guys, and welcome back. My name is Miss Danielson, and today I'm taking you through a lesson on mixed numbers. And I hope you remember that integers are whole number values, which could be either positive or negative. Well, these are non-integers, so fractional values, with a value greater than 1. Let's get started. Here we have some examples of improper fractions, or you might call them top-heavy fractions. Now, the reason we call them top-heavy fractions is because the number at the top of these fractions, or the numerator, is bigger than the number at the bottom of these fractions, or the denominator. You don't need to copy these examples down right now, but what I wanted you to see is why we don't like to leave our answers in this top-heavy or improper fraction format, because the denominator doesn't like getting squashed by the numerator. So let's figure out how to convert improper fractions into mixed numbers. Keep in mind that fractions are just divisions. For example, 16 over 3, which is again an improper or top-heavy fraction, is the same thing as 16 divided by 3. Keep in mind as well that when I do 16 divided by 3, I'm going to get an answer with a remainder. 16 does not divide evenly into 3 parts. That's what a mixed number is. It's an answer which has got a whole number part and some remainder, but we write that remainder in a slightly different way. So although I know that 16 divided by 3 won't be a whole number answer, let's see how close we can get. Now you can probably do this in your head, but I'm just going to show my thinking to the side here. I know that 1 3 is 3, 2 3s are 6, 3 3s are 9, 4 3s are 12, 5 3s are 15, getting pretty close, 6 3s are 18. Oh, I went past it. So 16 divided by 3 is 5 with a remainder of 1 because I'm trying to divide 16 by 3, but what I've really done is I've done 15 divided by 3. So that 1 hasn't actually been divided by 3 yet. Now don't worry, we're not going to carry on with long division, working out a decimal answer. We're just going to make it really clear that I've divided 16 by 3, I got the answer 5, but I still have to divide that remainder 1 by the 3. So that's 5 and 1/3. Simple, right? Let's try some practice now. So here are the exact same examples I gave you before. Take a minute now to hit pause and copy them down. Work through your answers. You just need to find the whole number answer, and the remainder you put over the denominator that we had from before. Also keep in mind that you might be able to simplify the fraction part of your mixed number. And we always want to simplify when we can. So go ahead and hit pause, give that a try, and hit play when you're ready to carry on. The answers will come up at the end of the lesson. I hope you've had a chance to hit pause. Let's move on to the next part of our lesson. So we've already learned how to convert improper fractions into mixed numbers. Can we now convert mixed numbers into improper fractions? Now I know what you might be thinking. Why would I want to convert a mixed number into an improper fraction when you've already told me that we don't likely leave our answers in the improper or top-heavy format? Well, the reason is calculations with mixed numbers are very difficult to do. We'll always want to convert our mixed numbers into top-heavy fractions before we add, subtract, multiply, or divide fractions. Just remember that fractions are divisions, and with example 2, I've got the mixed number 5 and 3/4. Now this mixed number has a whole number part and a fractional part, but a whole number can be written as a fraction just with a denominator of 1, because dividing by 1 has no effect. So I can write 5 and 3/4 is the same thing as 5 over 1 and 3/4. 5 divided by 1 is still 5. Now notice that I'm saying 5 and 3/4. When we have mixed numbers, the whole number part and the fractional parts are being added together. Now a big confusion that most people get this confusion on the calculator is they see a number in front of a fraction And some calculators will actually calculate that as 5 times 3/4. So please don't use your calculator for this. Let's make sure that we understand the working first, but you should know what the answer should be to ensure that your calculator has understood what you inputted into it. So 5/1 and 3/4 means 5/1 plus 3/4. Now you need to remember here that when we add fractions, we need to have a common denominator. The denominator, remember, is the number on the bottom there. I've got a 1 as the denominator of my first fraction, and I've got a 4 as a denominator of the second fraction. So to find a common denominator, we need to find a lowest common multiple of 1 and 4. Now I can just do that by multiplying 1 by the value that I want in that denominator. 1 times 4 will give me a denominator of 4. But whatever I do to the bottom of the fraction, I have to remember, I need to also do to the top of the fraction. Always multiplying and dividing here. So 5/1 plus 3/4 is the same thing as 20/4 plus 3/4. Now that we have that common denominator, our answer will have that denominator of 4. It's just the numerators that we add together. So 20 plus 3 is 23. There's my top-heavy fraction. 5 3/4 is the same thing as 23/4. If you want to check that, you can always try and convert that top-heavy fraction back into a mixed number as we did previously. Let's get on to some practice now. So here are some mixed numbers that I want you to write as improper fractions. Remember, the whole number part can be written as a fraction over 1, and then you want to add that fraction to the fractional part. But first you need a common denominator. So multiply both the numerator and denominator of that first fraction by some value to make sure that your denominators match. And when you add your fractions together, you only add the numerators. The denominator stays the same. Go ahead and hit pause and give that a go, and hit play when you're ready to take it up. I hope you had a chance to hit pause, because here come your answers. From our first practice exercise, converting improper fractions into mixed numbers, I hope you remembered to simplify your fractional parts of those mixed numbers. Here come your answers. Note that many of these fractions were simplified. This first one, for example, would have been 6 and 3/6. And we simplify that by finding the common factor of both the numerator and the denominator. We could divide them both by 3. And the numerator divided by 3, 3 divided by 3 gives us the 1, and the denominator divided by 3, 6 divided by the 3 gives us the 2. Now that was the case in many of these fractions. So if you need to correct your answers for those simplified fractions, question 1, question 2, question 4, 5, 6, 11, and 12. Let's go on to our answers for converting mixed numbers into top-heavy fractions. So how did that go for you? Hopefully it was fairly straightforward, but I hope you found this lesson helpful. And if you had any doubts, please let me know down in the comments section so I can clarify those for you. Otherwise, make sure that you've got good, clear notes from this lesson. The important things to take away from this is remembering that fractions are just divisions. They're nothing to be afraid of. And mixed numbers have a whole number part which is added to a fractional part, not multiplied. Mixed numbers are the answers to divisions where there is a remainder, and that remainder is just put over the original denominator. Whole numbers can be written as fractions with a denominator of 1 because, of course, dividing by 1 will not affect the value of that whole number. And we need to remember that when we add these fractions, we first need to get a common denominator. That's all I've got for this lesson. Till next time, keep practicing, and I'll see you soon with another lesson on mixed numbers, improper fractions, and decimal values. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.